And then what happens is then it opens it.
Who are you looking at from the hotspot from
So hold on one
Journey?
second. So I need to make sure because it opens it. So video is unavailable. The video is with restricted mode unable. So with restricted mode.
Hey, Jeremy.
So I'm trying to start live stream.
Are you starting live stream now? Carmen? Tell me when to come back in. I'm stuffing my face. I don't want to be on the recording eating things in my teeth. Because Rooney will see it and he'll laugh at me.
Take pictures and post them online. I actually know somebody who goes on Zooms and just takes photos of people as they're about to eat their food. It's really funny. People have developed interesting hobbies these days.
I like to take pictures of when they freeze, because people freeze in the funniest positions.
That's really funny. I'm also going to hold on. So did the district lose power or something, or just their internet?
I don't know, just internet maybe?
Crazy. I wonder how they're going to be able to host everything off of the minor bandwidth that Wi-Fi thing provides.
Obviously they're having some issues because we're not up yet.
So Mr. Jacobs, we had a little bit of trouble getting into homeroom this morning. My wife and I were running around like looking through all the papers, like, where's the Zoom ID? Are you sure it's not a Google Classroom?
But you got on.
Eventually, yeah.
You did. So did you figure out what you needed to do, or is it just a glitch, or?
I think now that Google Classroom is updating, for example, I got the email after school today of the assignments, when they're due, and then it had a link, presumably for tomorrow. It had it for math, but not for homeroom, actually. So I'm still a little curious about that. But I think Kai knows because he asked. So I'm hoping my 6th grader will figure this out.
No, you have to depend on our kids on this one. Yeah, well, we're all learning together. I know that we have everyone linked now, almost everyone linked to the Google Classroom accounts, and that is shared with you. Right. And we're just we just want to make sure everyone can get on the Zoom, has the right Zoom link, and everyone's on the right one. So it was a little quirky today, but overall it went pretty well. So
how much of your class tuned in?
We had probably a good 90%. We only had 2 kids out of 32 not show up, and one of them is because he's in Mexico, so that's only one. So it's pretty good. And I've been talking to other teachers, and it's pretty consistent around the district that we've had 90 to 100% attendance.
And that's so we know we are being we are on recorded, you guys, just FYI.
Thank you. Yeah. So we were pleased, overall pleased.
You should be. That's nice. Kids want to be back. They want to see each other.
We saw a lot of eager faces, and I think a lot of teachers too really felt better today after being in contact with their kids and being able to see them again. And so we feel good. First day of school is always a little anxious.
All right. I apologize to interrupt our conversation. I am glad that we are having a conversation about the first day of school. I start on Thursday, Mark. So I'm right there with you on the adventure. Yeah. But let's go ahead and call this meeting to order at 6:04 p.m. And Mark, would you do us the honor of leading us in the pledge, please?
Did you say Mark?
Yes, please, Mark Jacobs.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Jacobs.
Do we have the district
Do we
office?
have Carmen? Yeah, do we have Carmen somewhere?
Yep, President Vasquez, the district office is having some technical difficulties,
Oh,
and
they are still?
although we're on, I don't think they're
I
they're
don't
with
see
us. just
them.
yet.
Oh, are they on too? They're not on?
We
I
only
don't
see
think so.
Mark.
Okay, then I guess we can continue our conversation and we're not calling the meeting to order yet. We will wait. Let's see if I can fix my background over here.
How did your drive-by go yesterday, Mark?
It went really well. I got there, and I saw Mr. Takur there and his kids there. It was an overwhelming success. I didn't really know how many kids would come, but we had a line down the street, and it was fun to see everybody behind their masks and try to guess who was who. But it was a great start to the year.
Did you also give out the iPads?
Oh, we did that before. We
You
did
did
that
it last
before.
week?
So yeah, we did it the week before. All the kids had their iPads. I'd say about 96% of the kids had all their materials and iPads before the first day of school. And so yesterday was just a great way to kick off the beginning of the school year and see everyone and see all the parents. And so it worked out well.
That's really nice. It was a very clever idea.
And Miss Centeno too. Yeah, I know a lot of schools did that, and our new principal, Miss Centeno, did a wonderful job in welcoming all the kids and parents and teachers back as well. So everyone's doing an exceptional job in a very exceptional time.
That is great. Have you had any complaints about the working of the devices?
I think some just trying to find, there's a few glitches on just trying to find the right link. Maybe a few people that I think have hotspots that are weak maybe.
There you are.
But not huge, but we have a few things there, and I know Jeremy's working on it really hard.
Well, Jeremy's on now, so I guess we are live.
We are live, yes.
Are we live? Let me
Yes, we are live, yes.
Guys,
we have been live for a little while.
Apologize. Can we do a quick sound check from all of our board members? Trustee Berryman?
Here. Can you hear me?
Hearing.
Would you like me
Go
to
ahead one more
sing?
time, Trustee Berryman.
Hello,
we go.
yes.
All right. I'm gonna go in the order I see you across. So Mark Jacobs, can I get a sound check?
Check.
Thank you. Trustee Sugarman,
Good evening.
Trustee Meyer,
Checking.
Trustee Thakur,
Check.
and President Vasquez.
Here.
Wonderful. All right. We apologize for the delay. Technical issues have been fixed, and we are live on YouTube.
Thank you.
Okay, there we go. Oh, yes, Mrs. Sheila. Okay, so we are ready to go. Thank you very much. President Vasquez, if you can unmute yourself, that would, thank you.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order at 6:08 p.m. And if we could have Mr. Mark Jacobs lead us in the pledge.
Please stand. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Jacobs, for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. We are going to go ahead and get started with our superintendent's report. Dr. Pletka.
I want to welcome everybody today. We are going to give a COVID-19 update, but right now we have an announcement we would like to share. And we're very excited to introduce our new assistant principal, at Pacific Drive. And I'm going to have Chad Hammett just share a little bit more about her resume.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, and our public and community. Welcome. We are so glad tonight to be able to introduce to you Suzanne Guidi. She's our new assistant principal at Pacific Drive School. She comes with over 17 years of elementary experience, and we're very excited to have her join us. I would actually like Suzanne to please come forward, and actually you will get a chance to see her, and she can tell you a little bit about her background and experience.
Hello, everybody. Hello, thank you for having me, President Vasquez and Board of Trustees, and also Executive Cabinet, Dr. Pletka. Thank you for having me. Nice to meet all of you. So as Dr. Hammett was saying, I have 17 years of experience, previously worked in a small school district in Los Angeles. I did a lot of work on digital citizenship, and I presented at CUE numerous times. It was very exciting. And also my digital citizenship experience and combined with my technology experience makes me super excited to be able to support the computer science pathway at Pacific Drive. And also growing up in a bilingual household, I grew up with an appreciation for biculturalism, and I'm super excited and can't wait to continue supporting the dual language program at Pacific Drive. And we had an amazing first day. It was very exciting from beginning to end, and it was so great to see students online and ready to learn. So thank you for having me, and I'm so looking forward to having an amazing year. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Were you able to speak with the families this day?
Yes, I spoke with many families. I spoke with families who needed some support with their iPads. I spoke with families who came in for lunch, lunch hour, and I was able to speak with lots of students as I was making my rounds around. It was so great to see so many teachers in the classroom supporting the students with learning, and I was able to meet so many of them.
Great. Welcome.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. It was nice to meet all of you.
Thank you.
And just a quick update on our listening and responding tour. We did have our first meeting. We will be having 10 meetings, about 2 a month, and we would anticipate having recommendations to the board in December. And we are excited also to kick off some of the activities that we will be doing then in February, and we'll be working with our committee and the lessons and to develop. So we've started the work. We've had our first meeting, and again, about 2 meetings a month. We have about 56 people as a part of our committee, and we're looking forward to working with everybody.
Bob, I have a question. Are there any kids in the listening tour meetings? Any kids?
So they're not a part of the actual committee, but they are a part of the focus groups that we'll be doing.
Good.
And so one of the focus groups will be with students.
So you're getting input from the kids too. That's great.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
How do you select the people that you will be listening to?
So we worked with each of our partners, and so our partners, as well as the committee, will be submitting names, and obviously the person has to want to be a part of the listening tour as well. But we are reaching out to our committee members for suggestions, and again, we have our partnering groups, FESMA and FETA and CSEA and DLAC. Yay, Mrs. Nuncy. All right, and there are different groups coming in, as well as suggestions from our committee members as well. So we're looking forward to beginning our listening tour.
What schools will you be at? Do you know yet?
We don't know yet. We're going to have a sample. We'll be asking students from different schools to be part of it, and obviously both our students of color, and so we'll be definitely reaching out to our students to make sure that they that we hear their voice.
Thank you. Any other questions from our board? Okay, great. Thank you so much, Dr. Pleka, for updating us. We're gonna go, is there anything else, Dr. Pleka?
No, that's good. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. We're gonna go ahead and continue with our information from the Board of Trustees. And we're gonna go ahead and start with the order that I think that we were in last time. So I believe our first board report will be from Trustee Meyer.
Okay, I'm unmuted. All right, well, today was a really special day for a lot of kids and a lot of teachers. And I have a couple of stories that happened today that I think it's important for you to hear. This is an Orangethorpe teacher, okay, with kind of small young children. You can guess who this is for those of you who know the staff there. You know what they did today? They watched a silly video on feelings. And then they took turns talking about their feelings. One girl said she was excited to come back to school and see her friends. One boy was feeling very frustrated and able to tell us. The entire class gave him a virtual hug, and he got the biggest smile. So being able to express our positive and negative emotions was really helpful. And I really do appreciate the teachers looking at the mental health and the feelings as well as the curriculum that has to happen. Also, they had a few new kinders, and when each one of them got introduced, the others randomly unmuted themselves and were saying hi. It was so sweet, and the new kids were very surprised and happy. I think they feel welcomed. And I have another story from another teacher, and I have a couple of pictures with that if you want to put those up. What they did, this is a 6th grade class, and this is up at Hermosa. They set up all their routines. They signed in to all the apps that were necessary, and they did, all the paperwork that needed to be done. And then they did a flip grid of all about me, and that's how they started. So each child talked about themselves and the flip, in the flip charts. And I think I can read this, that this one child said, another reason that I'm interested in a person, I like reading about the summer. I haven't read many books because most of my books are for younger kids. I also need some book recommendations. I mostly read fiction and chapter books. So this teacher took upon herself to provide books for this student and share the books for him. So our teachers are really reaching out and doing some really cool things. Were you able to put that picture up, Carmen, of what a classroom looks like? Because it's kind of cool to see what the actual virtual classroom looks like.
Trustee Meyer, if it's okay with you, our Wi-Fi was a little bit slow, and thank you so much, but we will be able to put them up at the end of the report.
I think do you see what it looks like? That's a teacher who has all. Yes. Okay. And then I particularly like this picture right here of what the whole, the kids are in the classroom. So it's really cool. And I'm just going to do a shout out for a great opening first day. It's so different, but the little stories and the fun accolades I wanted to share with all of you. And welcome back, everybody. Let's go for it.
All right, thank you, Trustee Meyer. Trustee Thakur.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, first day of school. The boys, my sons, woke up probably a little later than they should have, but luckily we didn't have to worry about traffic or anything this morning. Had a little bit of issues with logging in for one student, but the idea of just sort of coming back to school, it's a comfort, not just for me and my wife, but I think for our children as well. And we were all kind of wondering how it would go. I'm very pleased that it was a positive experience today. Shout out to Raymond's PTA and Principal Centeno for putting on an amazing sort of a drive-by, saying hello, opportunity to be back on campus. I think our sons have only been back on campus. I've only been back at our school campus 3 or 4 times since March. And it felt wonderful to be back. It feels wonderful to be back in the swing of things. Good luck to everybody. For the district, I'll be very interested to know in more real time about attendance issues, connectivity issues, but I know that since the district and teachers and staff have had an opportunity to sort of plan for this, that it will be a much more fulfilling experience, hopefully for everybody. So thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Berryman.
Hi, welcome back to everybody. I want to echo what everyone else is saying. We're so excited. I think that the excitement started last week, driving around to our school sites and seeing, starting Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all of the easy ups up and the boxes with all the alphabet on there, the cars driving through to get everyone's packages. Just feeling the excitement of coming back just differently, I think was, for me, it was exhilarating. So I think that our staff have this, they've got it. So I'm very happy. Janny, thank you for sharing those lessons. I really, I think that when we talk about socio-emotional learning, people don't understand what that means. And I think that, they think it's okay, we're going to have a psychology lesson or we're going to do something like that. But just as easily as talking about feelings is something that we're talking about with social-emotional learning. And it starts in the early grades and kindergarten, preschool, and then it works its way up and it gets different each time. So thank you for sharing that. And I think that gives people a better perspective of what that means in a classroom, and that we are on the first day of school looking out for our kids' emotions and what's going on with them, and trying to really have our staff develop that relationship. And it's all about relationship building, I think, for this first couple weeks. So it's really wonderful to see that happening. And I like the fact that they're individualizing learning and finding out, okay, you want to read a book, let's still get you books, even though I'm not here right next to you, we can still make that happen. So again, I think that this year has been harder than any year to start school. Every year, I'm sure, is difficult for our staff and for our district office. I don't know if our district office has had any time off. So thank you guys for everything. And we're here to support you and whatever you guys need from us as a board, all of our staff on all of our campuses, as well as our district office. So thank you guys for a job well done and a great opening. So thank you.
Trustee Sugarman.
Hi. A big welcome back to our staff. Thank you all, every one of you, for planning and delivering outstanding programs this very first day of school. It's just like regular first day of school. And Janny, yes, I love hearing the stories. Thank you. I want to welcome back our students. Thank you for tuning in to school today. And thank you for saying hi to your teachers and friends. Teachers, friends, everybody needs to have that relationship. For most of you, it's been a while since you've been to school. We're all so excited to see your happy faces. Today, we saw the beginning of a new era in education. We started with distant learning in response to the order from Governor Newsom. However, the way we deliver education may change in the very near future. Fullerton School District will be offering families choice, lots of choices in the near future as the law permits us to open our schools. And we're proud to offer those choices so that each family can pick a solution for their child's education that is the way they want their child taught during this most unusual time in education. And in the course of making a decision, they might even change their mind a little bit into it. And we're open to service the needs of our families and our children's. We believe that parents have the right to decide what's best for their children and their families. Additionally, students need a high quality education. And from what you heard tonight, from Jani, from Aruni, we are planning to deliver a high quality education, whether it's virtual, through distance learning, or in class, or any other way. Our expectations are high level education, and we're excited to show you all the ways we can deliver that. Also important, safety precautions and training have been taken for all participants. We even have videos online to show children how to put on their masks and take off their masks when the time comes for them to go to school. Wow, lots have been going on. We can't thank all of our staff enough for all the energy they've put into it. There will be lots of questions, lots and lots of questions. There will be suggestions. Staff, parents, community members, and students, ask your questions of staff. They will get you the best answers. We all appreciate great ideas. Please share them. We are all in this together. I know you hear that, but it's really true. Meanwhile, so many great things have been happening at our sites this week, with welcome back festivals and materials given away in all different ways. iPads have been reissued. I am proud of the creativity and ingenuity of our sites and district departments to make so much happen in so many very fun ways. 2020-21 will be a year full of creativity, ingenuity, and surprises for sure. Also, high quality education. So welcome back. I have, on another note, a word of thanks for our Fullerton School District partners. In order to make our opening happen, our classified employees and our teachers have had to, and our administrators have all had to put in their input and make some new agreements on how to make this district run successfully. And they have worked really hard. Their representatives and the representatives for our district. So I want to take a minute now and read the names of the 14, the people who have given their energy on the classified side of the equation. Al LaQuesta, Mulu Lakapu, Marlena Costa, Andrea Lopez, Tanya Bellicue, and Joanne DiCarlo have all worked hard, working with, from our district, Melissa Greenwood, Rob Copeland, Marilee Cosgrove, Maria Hill, and Scott, I always butcher your name, Shalbaz. Oh, I'm so bad. You know I love you though. So thank you all from Classified. We talked about the teachers at our last meeting, but we don't want to neglect to thank them again for reaching an MOU with us. And we're going to go ahead as a team, as people working together in unison to make this crazy year a remarkable, successful year for all of our kids. Thank you. Welcome back.
Thank you, Trustee Sugarman. Okay, and for my report, I would like to echo everything that my colleagues have said in terms of thanking our staff, our parents, our teachers, our students, our administrators, for all the work and diligence that has gone into getting this year started. I talked to Dr. Pudka today, and he talked to me a little bit about how the first day went. And I know that a lot has gone into planning the beginning of this year. I'm really proud of all the work that I know teachers have continued to do. And I thank the parents and the students for being patient with us as we continue to embark on this journey as well in education through the time of COVID. I want to say that I'm a proud product of the Fullerton School District. I actually started kindergarten in the Santana, that's how we call it, Santana Unified School District at Jackson Elementary. And when I moved to Fullerton, I was very fortunate to have Miss Mata as my first grade teacher. At the time, it was before Prop 187, and we were still able to learn Spanish in our classes. And I remember Miss Mata always singing to us in Spanish, leyéndonos cuentos en español, reading us to stories in Spanish, taking care of every single student. I remember Margarita, her sister is the PTA president at Richmond, and her mom were always very, very involved in our class. But I have had really great, amazing teachers who have made a huge impact on my life. Mrs. Othmer, my second grade teacher, who would bring clothes that her daughter didn't use anymore. And after the years, I would come help in her class, and she would give clothes to us. Mrs. Tuardos, my fifth grade teacher, who encouraged me and made me grow as a writer. When I didn't know that I didn't want to do honors at Nicholas, she reminded me of why I needed to take honors classes at Nicholas. Mrs. Ramirez, my sixth grade teacher, made me fall in love with math and would always be hilarious. And Mr. Rosa, my other sixth grade teacher as well, donated a whole set of encyclopedias. I mean, these are just, to me, these are just examples of how our teachers have gone above and beyond. They always do. Even our class, of course, our classified staff as well. Mr. Aguirre used to be our librarian at Richmond, and he would always have a smile on his face as when we came in. And at Nicholas, I had amazing teachers as well. Mr. Chi made me fall in love with math, and I am still challenging myself to be a better math teacher. And he also planted that seed to go to UCLA in me, and I sent him an email about a month ago or so about that. And even teachers who weren't my own teachers, like Mr. Silva, who after I got into the Tech Trek program, which was supposed to be going to Whittier College in the summer, he knew that my parents might say no because they didn't know that's something that you did, that you go for a camp or something away from home. And so he talked to me. He wasn't my teacher, but he came to me and talked to me and said that if he needed to call my parents, to please let him know that he would do that. And so that's just a little bit of what our teachers do every single day, and why I am proud to be a product of this district. When I returned to Fullerton after getting my teaching credential, I began learning right away from our parents and our community leaders who were organizing for district elections here in our community. And I was very, very proud of being a part of those conversations. Right now, we are facing a critical time in education in our world. Poverty is something that is very real and that is going to continue to impact more and more of our families. The achievement gap is something that is very real and that is going to be something that we're going to continue working toward bridging. Our world is in a time of crisis, and there are so many people in our community, in our district, who are here and have been here, ready to go, all hands on deck to make an impact on our students. And as I embark on this journey, as all of our teachers do, I'm a teacher myself, I'm a 6th grade teacher. I know how challenging it is for our teachers to make the impact that we want to make every single day, given the situation that we're in. And because it takes so much work and so much heart, and because of how critical our time is right now, I have decided that tonight will be my last board meeting, and I will be resigning from my position so that I can continue to focus and put in that heart and that and that what I know is needed for me to serve the students in my class this year. And while I'm still committed to continue the work in conversation with my colleagues, with our district families, and with my neighbors, I will no longer be in this role of board member. And I know that the district and our staff and our team will continue to do what it takes, because that's what educators do and that's what we do. And with that, I want to leave with just a quote that you all see me all the time say and share. La educación es un acto de amor, por tanto un acto de valor. Education is an act of love, and thus an act of courage. And so I want to thank my colleagues, and I want to thank the community, and our neighbors for putting that trust in us to lead through this critical time. And I am confident that we have a team here that has led us through difficult times before, and that will continue doing that every single day. So thank you. Okay, so with that, I would like to go ahead and continue with our information from our partners, and we're going to start with DLAC. Our DLAC president is Miss Eklund Nutsi.
Hello, everybody. Pleasure to see you. I had technical difficulties. I have Jeremy here to help me. It's a pleasure to see you, all of you. And happy first day, you know, in our wonderful school district, our children excited, our families. I'm very blessed to be with all of you today. And first of all, good evening, President Vasquez, the school board members, executive cabinet, and Superintendent Dr. Pletka. Our DLAC committee will like to welcome everyone back to school for the 2021 school year. We are grateful to the district staff for their planning, the principals for their leadership, and our amazing teachers. We're welcoming our students for a new year. It is amazing to see the high-level problem-solving skills that our staff has had to use to address all the challenges our students and families have faced during this pandemic. We look forward for working together with the board and other committees to take the 2021 school year and make it a huge success. We want to thank the school district, Dr. Pletka, for the support in providing a location and setup for a food drive, a Pacific drive this past Friday in collaboration with United States. We were able to provide food for 750 families. We are in this together. Thank you. We are in this together to support each other. This is from our committee. And I know I'm gonna come back for my public comment, but I would like to thank President Vasquez. Thank you so much for your leadership. Thank you for being part of our district. In our district, we value different opinions. And I believe we are like a family. We're all different, but we are the same. And our mission is to serve our children. And I thank you for your service to our families. And I think this is, you know, from all our families in our school district, we appreciate the people that give their service, their time, their love to our children. I thank you as a parent for your time and collaboration. And this is something I always believe in: tolerance, respect, and always to appreciate who gives service to our children. Thank you so much for your service and to all of you. And I think you deserve an applause for all of us for your service, President Vasquez. Thank you, and God bless you, and have a wonderful life. We love you.
Thank you, Ms. Nitsi. Our report from our PTA.
President Vasquez, we have Mark Jacobs that will be giving his report personally, and Robin Gilligan on behalf of FESMA, and the rest of the reports I will be reading on behalf of those associations. So if you would, I know if you would like to unmute yourself, if we could start with Mark Jacobs.
All right, well, good evening, everyone. Good evening, President Vasquez, Board of Trustees, Superintendent, and Cabinet. First of all, I would like to say on behalf of FTA to thank you to President Vasquez and her time and commitment to the Fullerton School District and the students that she represents. You brought up many important issues and have really expanded the mission of FSD. And we'd just like to say thank you for all that you've put in. And as a sixth grade teacher myself, being a full-time sixth grade teacher and a board president is truly an amazing task and feat. So my admiration goes out to you for being able to juggle those two things. That's pretty incredible. Thank you. So I do have the good news to report that after many weeks of planning and many anxious, sleepless nights, FSD teachers began school today in our distance learning mode. Teachers, parents, and students are becoming Zoom experts and troubleshooters. Though we experienced some glitches and the need to clarify where to find the proper Zoom links, overall distance learning began pretty well throughout the district. We focused a lot on connecting with students, reviewing protocols and procedures. And we were happy to find that most students were really eager, attentive, and really excited to be back to school. We were happy to, and our distance learning plan requires new demands and guidelines that have never before been asked. And we're still working hard to meet these new requirements. We are really ready to teach and excited to teach. We're still a little bit uncertain how all the extended learning and monitored live and synchronous and asynchronous work's all gonna work out. But if any indication is what happened today, I think it's gonna work out pretty well. We had a good first day. My sixth grade class was excited to be back, and we Zoomed for 4 hours, 240 instructional minutes, which seemed very daunting in the beginning. And we did take some time getting all on the correct Zoom links, and but we did have about 95% attendance, which we were really pleased about. We were able to introduce ourselves, review class expectations, play some games, have some good discussions or chats. And we even had a bit of time to touch on math and reading today. And we used appropriate breaks throughout. And so we kind of spread it out and it worked out pretty well. And so we're excited about that. We do acknowledge though that especially, for example, special ed and preschool lower grades, they have some unique and more challenging constraints just because their kids are less able to be on for so long and such. And so that makes planning and teaching online very difficult and challenging. I just wanted to acknowledge that because we are doing a wonderful job, but it is difficult. I reached out to some of our teachers this afternoon just to get a pulse of how things went. And overall, it's been very positive, better than we expected. But I also reached out, and I'm just going to put a few things from special ed, a junior high and elementary teacher observation. A special ed teacher mentioned that, quote, most students in the mod severe placement are working on functional skills, and it's difficult to do independent work remotely. An adult needs to be present with them, sitting 100% of the time. And I have students who are at home with school-age siblings because parents work full-time, which makes it difficult. This means that they're unable to participate effectively or sometimes at all. I have aides that can help me, but providing individualized instruction for 11 mod severe students in a one-to-one live Zoom format during the entire day is extremely difficult. I cannot provide asynchronous work as the student and the parent both need support to complete academic work as well. So yes, distance learning is a very, very tough road for us over here. DL is just not the same as in person. And so we realize that distance learning is especially demanding for special ed teachers, and we continue to be ready to address these challenges with the district in a collaborative way. A lower grade teacher said at elementary school, it went really well today once all the kids were able to log in. It did take a long time for some teachers to get their kids into the Zoom meeting due to technical difficulties with understanding passwords in the process. Many teachers, though, had 90 to 100% attendance, and the kids were happy to be back in school. Junior high is a whole different animal, and they did some pretty amazing work over there with all the periods and the different Zooms and such. But one junior high teacher said, "I'm exhausted, but overall successful in helping students access Zoom and Google Classroom. I also had almost all students attend each class. I'm beginning to see how I can do this synchronously both with Zoom and apps like Flipgrid, while also guiding students in asynchronous tasks with more interactive components. Zoom expectations will be super important for junior high. I'm so glad our PBIS has prepared our presentation and has a plan for rolling out expectations, the behavior matrix, and cyberbullying lessons." So those were some real teacher observations, real from today. But we know that there's no way to prepare for every contingency, and we will have to address many needs and problems as they arise. And we can control things on our side of the screen, but there are always many accountability and technology concerns on the other side of the screen that we can't always completely control. Still, after our first day, we are very cautiously optimistic. And a huge thank you goes out to our incredible hardworking teachers planning. I can tell you, I had a lot of teachers get very little sleep last night as they had no idea really how today was really going to roll out. But overall, most of them a huge sigh of relief, and many of them are going to go to bed very shortly. A huge thank you also goes to our incredible Jeremy Davis and IIS team, the entire IIS team that helped get iPads out to teachers and parents and get everything up and running to make this day run pretty smooth. In conclusion, overall, today went relatively well. We do fully expect the need to revisit and modify and improve our plans based on the uniqueness of our programs and students. This is a work in progress, and we know it's not perfect, but teachers are so happy to be back in contact with our students. So we ask for your understanding, flexibility from you and our side administrators as we together build and refine this new teaching journey we call distance learning. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jacobs.
Okay, Ms. Robin Gilligan on behalf of FESMA.
Well, good evening to all of our Board of Trustees and President Vasquez and to Dr. Pleka and Cabinet. I want to welcome everyone back to a new school year. We officially opened today through distance learning, And I have to say, Mark, you really did wrap up a full day of what it was like in the classroom for kids, and I appreciate that. I know that many of us experienced that in the spring, but I think it wasn't quite as eloquently put as how you just worded it. So thank you for that. In anticipation for today, you know, our management team has really been working diligently behind the scenes, in front as well, to collaborate with staff, communicate with parents, coordinate resources, and for many of our other departments, preparing for the lunch and breakfast distribution as well. All of that in anticipation to start today. So our school administrators have also done a tremendous amount of work with their site leadership teams, and they have developed school schedules, set instructional expectations, distributed resources, and ensured that all students were ready with the device. Whether they were able to log on is a different story, but they were ready with the device, just to name a few. And they did continue even as late as last night doing tech hours for parents so that they could practice logging on for their Zoom in anticipation for today. So many of our administrators did take the time to do that and offer their resources to help our parents. As we move forward, we will continue to refine our procedures. I know that there are many things that we may start to find nuances in the flow in our routine. And we will continue to work with our PAL teams to improve our efficiency and our practices. So today was the start, but it will only get better from here. And I also want to share that this past Wednesday, some of our management members also were a part of our first listening tour meeting with Dr. Pleka and several community members and teachers, as well as our CSCA members. And we discussed the process that we will be engaged in as we listen to each other and make recommendations that will have lasting impact on our students and school communities. So we're definitely looking forward to being part of that. And we look forward to attending our next meeting of the listening tour, which will be on August 27th. So we are grateful that we had a great start to our first day of school, and we will continue to move forward. I will have to say that at this level, I often get the parent feedback. And so I would like to share from a parent's perspective, specifically those who require additional support in the distance learning, shared from a collective group in my circle that I work with, all shared that today went off very well. Kids were very excited to see their teachers, but they were most excited to see their friends. So that is a big motivator to keep our kids engaged and wanting to come back. And I know our teachers are really going to be able to capture them as we move forward. So whether it's distance learning or in person, I know our kids are ready, and they're ready to start engaging with each other. And we're going to make it a great year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gilligan.
Okay, at this time, my name is Carmen Serna, and I'm the executive assistant to the superintendent, and I will be reading the reports for CSEA and PTA. On behalf of CSEA, good evening, Board of Trustees and Dr. Pleka. I am Tiza Castillo, Instructional Assistant at Valencia Park Elementary, and I am representing tonight's remarks for CSEA. First of all, I would like to welcome back everyone to an awesome 2020-2021 school year, and I hope everyone has had a safe and enjoyable summer. A couple of items have occurred since our school closure in March. CSEA has recognized our Employee of the Year to Eddie Islas, Instructional Assistant Special Ed from Pacific Drive Elementary. Congratulations, Mr. Islas. We also have awarded a couple of scholarships to our members with graduating seniors. The following recipients are Brenda M. Sace, mother from Margaret M. Sace, instructional assistant, student support. Nicholas Story, father is Aaron Story from our tech department. And Jacqueline Moran, who is the daughter of mother Silvia Hernandez from transportation. Congratulations to those seniors on their scholarships. Congratulations to all of our recipients in finishing their school year from home. We would like to thank a couple of departments, Nutrition Services, Maintenance and Operations, and our IIS for providing summer hours to a few of our members. Also Child Development Services for providing childcare for staff members who cannot work from home. We would also like to thank all community partners for their support in making food distribution possible to a lot of our FSD families during this pandemic. Lastly, in negotiations, we would like to inform the board that CSEA has signed the MOU regarding the coronavirus pandemic response and is currently in the approval process. Those are all of our remarks from CSEA. Thank you, President Vasquez, members of the board, and Dr. Pleca for your time. On behalf of PTA, welcome back, everyone. We hope everyone's first day was great. We know this is not how everyone wanted to start out the new school year, but we also know that our teachers are doing a fantastic job creating a somewhat normal start to a school year. As you all know, PTA is here to help in any way. And please don't forget to join your local PTA. This year, more than ever, your membership will help raise funds that each school needs. Thank you, and hopefully we will see each other soon. Wendy Reed and Christy Carter. And that would resume our reports on behalf of associations.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Serna. And now we are moving on to public comments.
So for public comments, we have an ability for our public to submit comments via email that we share with our board ahead of time. We do have a deadline. We have 2:30 usually on a typical regular board meeting day. At this moment, we have one public comment that was submitted via email, and we have two public comments that are here in person. I will proceed to read the first public comment sent by email, and then the other public comments done in person are by two community and parents, Karime Calixto and Eglis Nunsi, who I will be calling to the podium as soon as I'm done reading the first public comment. First public comment. Dear Board of Trustees, I applaud the superintendent and his executive staff who have worked harder than any other nearby district to ensure our campuses are safe, clean, and ready to open. Please show your appreciation of their hard work by moving forward in confidence to reopen our schools. As our children begin online learning this week, please know that this is not the quality education that taxpayers expect. As a parent, I urge you to make every possible effort to open our schools as soon as possible for on-campus learning. Your survey results showed that a majority of parents will send their students back to campus for learning. Please respect those results. I realize the governor and the teachers' unions are making it as difficult as possible to get our students back on campus. As trustees, you represent the students, not the teachers' union. Please fight for the students and their academic success by getting them back on campus. I know the district is working to comply with all the requirements the governor has mandated. At the same time, please lobby for modifications to those requirements to be more realistic about openings. I wholeheartedly support the district's application of a waiver so that we can open as soon as possible. We parents know that things just aren't making sense. It's moved beyond science into political agenda. That's the only way to explain that daycare can be safe, but school cannot. Please get our students back on campus so we don't miss any more learning than we already have. Jennifer Fitzgerald, Sunset Lane parent. And at this moment, I will be inviting Karime Calixto to the podium.
Camera's right there. So just talk right to the camera.
Okay. Can I take off my mask? Hello, good evening. My name is Karime Calixto. I live in Fullerton for over 25 years. I went to Richmond Elementary, Nicholas, and Fullerton High School. I'm a mother of three. My oldest one is her third year at Cal State Fullerton. Second one just got accepted at Cal State Fullerton, and my youngest one goes to Nicholas. She's 8th grader. And I'm here to inform you about the city wants to open a cannabis shop around our district, especially on the south side. And I'm very concerned as I had already experienced with my daughter had been offered marijuana in the school. So she was offered once when she was in 6th grade, and then the first time she went to 7th grade. So with them opening them around here, especially closer to our homes, I'm more concerned because as a parent, I'm doing my best. I'm getting involved. I'm a community leader, and I'm teaching my kids to do the right things. But when I see a teacher encouraging opening this door, this kind of shops, it kind of breaks my heart because I'm doing my part. And then he knows about a lot of things that are going on. He met all my girls, And I know it's my responsibility to teach my kids the right from wrong, but as you guys as teachers, it's responsibility to teach them about school. And, you know, the city needs to back us up. And at the end, it's like a chain. We have to do everything together. Like, I can't do everything. I can do for my part, but I know a lot of parents don't have that. You know, they have to have 2 jobs, and sometimes they're not around their kids. And if they have those shops around here, they're more easy to the other siblings, the youngest one, to get in hold of them. And then we have a lot of problems. You know, we're already having a lot of issues with our police and everything. So I think we need to work together on this too, and make sure that what's best for our kids. You guys are going to have a lot more problems, probably more smoking on the restrooms, and maybe more now younger kids doing this. So I please encourage you, and I beg you guys that please, we need to work together on this and find the best solution. And let's just hear what they have to say. You know, let's be open about everything, but hopefully everybody makes the right choice. And another thing, thank you so much, Mr. Pleka. I barely started working with you, and you know, you amazed me all the times that you had been outside helping the families distributing food. You know, that's another person that I look up to, because that everybody that can show me that we can work together, it's a great example. And you know, I'm so glad that I've met you, and I'm ready to keep working with you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Glenn, for everything you always do. Thank you so much. And I will leave one of the flyers if you guys want to look at this. Thank you.
Jeanette?
Carmen, Janie has her hand up. Jeanette?
Meyer, yes?
You know, could you, Dr. Pletka, could you keep
Okay, Trustee Meyer, I believe that you had a quick comment.
Yeah. Could you keep us apprised of where these shops are going to be opening if they do? Just kind of keep us in the network of this with the City Council.
Thank you, Dr. Pletka, for noting that. Let's go ahead and continue with our public comments.
I've been participating on the meetings that the City Council has, and the last one they had another
Ma'am, sorry, your time's up.
From what I understand, they have to do them on the side where what's it called? Where they have more like industrial. And if you look at the map, all the industrial side is on the south side. So yeah, there you're gonna have it. You know, I don't think.
So thank you.
We already have the bars. We have a lot of liquors, and I've taken classes, and I know statistics is when you have liquors, there's more vandalism, there's more gang stuff. So now you're gonna have cannabis shops, and so I don't think it's a great idea. Sometimes things work for a community, sometimes they don't, and I think this is the time this is not going to work for our community.
Thank you. That is your time. We have to continue, and we're gonna, Mr. Nutt, can you please make sure that we're timing our public comments, keeping our meeting to order, and if there's additional comments that we are keeping time as well for the read comments. Thank you. Any additional public comments? Ms. Serna?
Yes, at this moment, Mrs. Eagles-Nunzi will proceed with her public comment. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon. We are right, all the parents, they're very concerned for what is happening in our city. This is a possibility to open 5 dispensaries in our city, and they're going to impact the.
I'm sorry, Ms. Lizzie, I'm going to pause you. Mr. Nutt, can you please mute your mic so that we don't hear an echo?
So much as a parent that this can happen around us, and what we want to do is inform our community. A lot of our community, because of the pandemic, they are not informed. This is a decision they're going to take very soon. We, the parents, we are taking action, and we ask the City Council, they have a lot of meetings in English. Now we're going to have one in Spanish, which is going to be on Richmond Park. It's going to be Thursday, August 13th, from 5 to 7 p.m. And because one of the issues was a lot of our parents, they can access to the email, Now they can contact me and get their name and last name, and they're gonna be registered in the city to participate. It's gonna be social distancing, it's gonna be at the park, and we expecting from 50 to 70, maybe 75 families assisting to this event, because a lot of parents, they didn't even know this is happening in our city. And it's, I think, our obligation to inform, give facts, how they can be impacted, and our families can decide if they want this in our city or not. And I think that is our responsibility from the people that believe in the safety of our children to inform our community. And second, the second motive you see that I have is to congratulate Ms. Sangiri and our wonderful, you see, Dr. Kelly Castillo for a beautiful beginning of this school year. My teachers, my daughter's teacher is Miss Susan Satin, and she's been amazing. I see how they did so much for our children. It was at the beginning challenging. Our teacher, I would say our teacher because she's mine too now. And she brings her son to support, you know, any technical difficulties, and makes me like see, you know, everybody collaborating and helping each other to this, and I'm very grateful to be part of our school district. The other thing they bring me here on this past Thursday, my godmother passed from coronavirus in Bolivia. And it was, this is the 10th member of my family that passed from the virus in Bolivia. And then Saturday, they told me my mom had a heart attack because of the pain, to losing like a sister to her and to our family. When this happened, of course, when you have a lot of pain, you don't have time to think nothing else. And what happened, it was, this is a gentleman from our community, a man from our community that is gonna run for district number 5. His name is Leonel Talavera. He put his, you know, in the ballot that he's gonna run for district 5, which now is a vacancy from President Vasquez. And he put my name as an endorsement, which I never told him to do, and I never agreed to do, because I stay neutral in politics, because I don't believe that you need a title to do what is right for our community. I always done it, and I do it from my heart. I respect the people that are in politics, but I choose not to, and I expect people to respect them. Without my knowledge, he put me in his ballot for endorsement, and of course I got very upset. To me, that is a disrespect. I work very hard for our community, and I do it from my heart because I believe, and I do the things that are right. I believe in respect and integrity and honesty, and the traits that make a difference for a person. That is what it makes the difference to me, and that is the people that we support and that I work hard to help. I feel disrespected that he did that to me. Without my knowledge, he don't even have the respect to tell me that he did that to me. I found out for a third person that was very surprised, because a lot of people ask me for endorsement, and I always tell them that I support hardworking people. I don't believe in, you see, political parties. I respect people for their work and their actions. And that is something that I stand by, and I always do. And that is what I think I earn so much respect for different members of our community. And that is something that stopped me, because it's a person that he wants to come to our district to gonna take decisions for our children and our families. And it stopped me because I believe if somebody had to come to make those decisions, they had to have integrity, be responsible, and first of all, to be a truthful, transparent, and honest person. I'm very sad for his actions. I confront him, and I hope that he come here to tell you what happened and apologize in public, because he did that in public to me without my consent, and I hope he have the courage to do and say sorry in public like he did to me. And since that day, I have many people sending me letters to support for endorsement, and it's something that I respect. But you know what? Like I told you, I respect the people and the hard work, and that is something that I want to say. In the happy note, we are helping so many families with, with the food drive, and we're gonna keep helping families. I'm signing on to collaborate the city for the rent assistance relief, $1,000 to our families to help them with rent. And that is a program that had $300,000 in our city. And we're gonna do navigation to help our families to get $1,000 to pay the rents, because our families need that. And I'm volunteering my time to the city to do that possible. Thank you so much to all of you. I wish you the best, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Ms. and Ms. Serna, if there's more comments, can you please is someone timing? Can we have a timer, or I can time it if we need to? But we do need to have the 3-minute unless we have an extension. And then also, if I don't know if you can hear when I'm speaking about to call the meeting to order. Are you guys able to hear me? I just want to make sure I know what you guys can hear. Can you guys hear? Okay,
Yes.
so if I call the meeting to order, if you guys can please, because there were some comments that went over, so we can please work on that as well so that we can have this meeting run smoothly. That would be great. Thank you. Is that it for our public comments in person?
Yes, that would conclude our public comments.
Thank you. And are you going to, do we have any comments to be read?
There was only one that has been read and no further comments.
Great. Thank you so much, Ms. Serna. Let's go ahead and continue to our approval of the minutes.
Could I make a suggestion? I would like to make a motion that we approve the minutes at the end of the board meeting tonight, because there's a lot of discussion around them that might pertain to the way we might vote on them. So I'm looking to put the approval of the minutes at the end of all the information that's going to go into it.
I believe the only ones we have for today are the regular meeting of July 28th and then the special meeting for August 5th.
Right.
So you want those at the end?
Yes, I would like those at the end of the meeting.
I would second that.
So it's a first and a second I guess we can just move to our action item, which is approving the agenda as listed. Or we can go back and vote on, okay, so there's a first and a second to move this item to the end of the agenda. And is there any other discussion? Okay, and at the other, I'm not sure, Trustee Meyer, did you mean your concern is just for these two meetings, meeting minutes, or for other meeting minutes? We can't hear you, Trustee Meyer.
It's for the July 28th, August 5th. I think just bulking them up together is more efficient than one at a time. So I just want to put both of those at the end of the meeting, because there are some discussion items on minutes. So I would like to see that move to the end of the meeting. And I think I have a second with Barry Min, so I would call for the vote.
Okay, so the vote has been called. Let's go ahead and do a roll call vote. Mrs. Serna?
Roll call vote. Trustee Berriman?
Here, oh, yes.
Trustee Meyer?
Aye.
Trustee Sugarman?
Aye.
Trustee Thakur?
Aye.
President Vasquez?
I abstain. I was not at those meetings, so I will not make a vote on that.
Okay, so at this moment, we are moving the regular meeting minutes from July 28th and the special meeting of August 5th minutes to the end of the agenda for approval at that time.
All right, and now we are moving on to approval of the agenda as listed below. Can I get a motion? Okay, motion made by Trustee Sugarman,
I'll second.
seconded by Trustee Thakur. Let's go ahead, and is there any discussion on the agenda?
Hilda?
We
Hilda
can't hear you.
You're muted.
Trustee Sugarman?
The wrong way. Sorry. Carmen, could you post our donations? Or share screen?
Do we have to vote on?
We are not there quite yet. We are approving the agenda as listed before, and we will get.
I thought you already did.
No, not yet.
But I'll move to approve the agenda as changed.
Yeah, I think we already had. Okay, so perfect. So let's. Did we just have a motion right now?
Yeah, Hilda.
Okay, yeah,
Did
so
and Rooney second.
Trustee Sugarman, you already made that motion. Trustee Zakor seconded that motion. And is there any discussion?
Yes, I think I'd like to move the items regarding our item regarding positions on the board to the top of the meeting, because if you're not going to be here, it seems to me that we should redo our board at the beginning and discuss positions on the board, not at the very end. And I really wish you well, because you're also adding to your plate getting married. And believe it or not, that's a big deal. Is there a second to move that up to the top?
We have a motion made by Trustee Sugarman. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, great. Any discussion? Okay.
Well, I guess I would just say I'm not sure what difference it would make. I believe Trustee Vasquez stated that, you know, this end of the meeting would be her last meeting, but maybe we can call the question if nobody else has any comments.
Okay, so we're calling a question. Let's go ahead and take a roll call vote. Any last comments? Okay, Ms. Cerna, can you call for the vote, please?
So the vote would be to move the reorganization of the board next on the agenda. Roll call, Trustee Meyer.
Aye.
Trustee Sugarman.
Aye.
Trustee Thakur.
No.
Trustee Berryman.
Aye.
And President Vasquez.
I'll abstain on this one. So vote carries 3-1-1. And we will, since you asked Trustee Sugarman to make that change at the beginning of our meeting, we're going to go ahead and move that up before the approval of our consent, before our COVID-19 update. So let's go ahead and discuss the reorganization of the Fullerton School Board of Trustees.
Just a quick.
Go ahead, Dr. Pletka.
Yeah, so I mean, I just wanted to be clear. I mean, kind of based on what President Vasquez says and our current process, President Vasquez would be president to the end of the meeting, regardless of what happens. I just wanted to clarify that. I know we're moving it up to the front, but it doesn't change the process of this meeting. Obviously, you could change that in a vote, but at least that's my understanding of how we would proceed. So we would proceed with President Vasquez regardless of the reorg.
Dr. Pletka, could we get legal counsel confirmation on that? And then Trustee Sugarman has a question. Trustee Sugarman.
That doesn't bother me at all. It's just traditionally, whenever we do reorganization, it's always been at the very top of the meeting. I've never seen it at the bottom of the meeting before. Jeanette's doing a great job. Doesn't bother me if she does this meeting, whatever. But
Vice President Sugarman, this might be a different scenario because I just resigned from the board. So I think it is a little bit different from traditionally when we do organizational meetings. But we've already voted. So Dr. Pletka, I know you're giving us your advice. I'm asking if there is some legal counsel where we can verify that, or we can just go ahead and proceed. I really don't mind if there is already a first and a second to have a vote on this. So that's okay.
We can verify, and then the second way you could do it is actually through the motion itself, that this wouldn't take place until the following meeting, but we will verify that in the background here.
Okay, so let's go ahead and have a discussion about our reorganization of the board. And I do have some language. Mrs. Cerna has sent to me. Let me just go ahead and pull that up since I was going to pull that up a little bit later. And we can go ahead and open it up to, and Mrs. Serna, you've done this before. Maybe we can facilitate that.
Sure.
Thank
So
you.
at this moment, the reorganization of the board typically happens in December, as any typical board of trustees or city or whichever organization picks new officers and a slate of officers and board meeting dates. At this moment, the reorganization has been added to the agenda, and based on what legal counsel has advised us is we go ahead and proceed the same way. I'm going to be sharing my screen the same way that we typically hold and call for offices in December, which would mean that we would get a motion and a second for every office in the Board of Trustees. And we, at the end, I can explain a little bit also about some of the organizations that the board is part of and the offices they hold that way. So at this moment, I'm going to share my screen and share with you the reorganization of the board that looks extremely similar to what we do in December. Ed Code calls for certain offices, and it basically comes down to the same matter. We will take at this moment a motion but for the president office for the Board of Trustees effective either immediately, if that's what the board decides at this moment, or it would be effective at our next board meeting, whether it happens to be a special board meeting that we call for the necessity of that, or at a regular board meeting. So at this moment, we would be opening the table for calling for a president. Yes.
Hello, this is Chad Hammett, Assistant Superintendent Personnel. I just got off the phone with legal counsel, and legal counsel said that the motion would just need to include allowing President Vasquez to remain in her position until the end of the current meeting. So if that's the board's desire, then it just needs to be included in the motion.
So Hilda, you made the motion. So can you make a motion that includes Jeanette staying as president till the end of this particular board meeting?
I move that the board vote on reorganization with the knowledge that our President Vasquez will remain in the position of president through this meeting, and all positions will hold during this meeting.
And I will.
I second. Oh.
In a second, we'll open it up to discussion. Any questions about the move?
My only thing is that I've never seen it any place but at the beginning of the meeting, and it just seemed appropriate to put it where it was traditionally. I thought perhaps that was a legal thing. I don't know, but that was the only thing.
Trustee Sugarman, with a vote majority, a lot of decisions can be made with a 3-0 vote. So thank you, Trustee Sugarman. If we have the votes, we can make that happen, whatever it is that you want to do. Let's go ahead and continue with the motion has already been made. There's a second. Any other comments?
Maybe I won't have another opportunity to address this particular issue. Trustee Vasquez, I'm shocked, disappointed, but I totally understand why you would want more time to focus on other things. I've appreciated serving on the board with you. I feel that in many ways you've been a moral center, especially with issues regarding some of our most vulnerable students. It's been really an honor and a pleasure, and I've learned so much from you, and I truly wish you the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Takor. I appreciate that.
May I also say something?
Trustee Berryman.
I do want to echo what Renee just said, and want to thank you for your service and for your voice and your passion to serve our kids. So thank you for the service that you've given us. And I am as shocked as Aruni, and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Berryman. So there has been a motion and a second. Any additional comments, Trustee Meyer?
Yes, and I will thank you for your service. You know, running for an office and doing what we've all done is hard work. It's dedication. Wherever you are in the page of life, it means a lot that people are willing to give up this time. Not everybody knows what it takes to run an election and put your passion and put your love and your beliefs on the table, whether people like it or not. And I commend anybody who steps up to any of these services. And so I will just say thank you for that.
And Trustee Meyer, thank you for your service. I appreciate all of you. Any other comments? Okay, so there was a motion and a second made to go ahead and have the positions take effect after this board meeting. Is that clear to everyone? Okay, great. So let's go ahead and take a roll call vote, and we're gonna go ahead and have Ms. Serna.
Okay, so roll call vote. Trustee Berryman,
Aye.
Trustee Meyer,
Aye.
Trustee Sugarman,
Aye.
Trustee Thakur,
Aye.
and President Vasquez.
I will also abstain from this item. That motion carries 401.
Okay.
Jeanette,
If we
you're
go
on
ahead and
mute.
move on to the reorganization of the board. And Mrs. Serna, if you can go ahead and help us out with this part.
Okay, so at this moment, we will be taking nominations for our new slate of officers, beginning with the president.
I nominate President nominee Hilda Sugarman. Motion by Trustee Meyer.
I'll second that.
Okay, there has been a motion by Trustee Meyer, seconded by Trustee Thakur, to nominate Hilda Sugarman as president, and I will be doing roll call for that.
Excuse me. I didn't expect President Vasquez to resign and from the board. This is very unusual. I appreciate the nomination. And I thank you. I thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, having a motion and a second for president, I will be doing roll call. Trustee Berryman.
Aye.
Trustee Meyer.
Aye.
Trustee Meyer.
Aye. Oh.
Okay, Trustee Meyer, aye. Trustee Sugarman.
Aye.
Trustee Thakur.
Aye.
And President Vasquez.
Aye.
Roll call passed and voted approved 5-0. At this point, we do have a new president, but as we are aware, the motion and the second calls for Trustee and President Vasquez to finish this board meeting. So we will now move on to the motion for Vice President, please. May I hear a motion?
I move to nominate Trustee Berryman, since traditionally we move up a slot, and so I move to nominate her.
I'll second that.
May I just throw out something if we can discuss this? I don't know if it makes sense or not, but I think I've just got my clerk mojo going, and find it pretty easy to go in and sign documents for Carmen when she needs it. So I don't know if you guys want to just keep me as a clerk and reconsider and put, maybe Janie over there. But I don't know if it matters much, but I just thought I would bring that up because it's easy for me to sign papers.
Again, one question would be, do we need a vice president for the next couple months?
Yes, please.
Pardon?
Yes. So we would need to fill the position of vice president. And in regards to Trustee Behrman's comment, we do appreciate her flexibility. I think at this point, you know, whoever the board chooses for as vice president or clerk, we are very able to work with that person to get signatures as needed.
Okay, I know. Okay. All right, I will accept the nomination.
Okay, thank you. And roll call now, voting for vice president. Motion by Hilda Sugarman, seconded by Runitha Kerr to nominate Beth Berryman as vice president. Roll call. I will start with Trustee Meyer.
Aye.
Trustee Sugarman.
Aye.
Trustee Thakur.
Aye.
Trustee and President Vasquez.
Aye.
And Trustee Berryman.
Aye.
Okay, approved 5-0. Moving on to our next office position would be that of clerk. I will take a nomination, please.
I think, Beth, I think next in line is Aruni, am I right? Yes, I nominate Aruni.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Hilda Sugarman, seconded by Jeanette Vasquez to nominate Aruni Thakur as the clerk, and I will be doing a roll call. Trustee Berryman.
Aruni is he's accepting nomination, right? He hasn't said anything. I want to make sure.
Well,
Get in there and sign papers.
It's an honor. You know, I wish the circumstances were different, but sure, I accept the nomination. Thank you, Trustee Sugarman.
Okay, thank you very much, Trustee Thakur. Roll call, Trustee Berryman.
Aye.
Trustee Meyer.
Aye.
Trustee Sugarman. Trustee Sugarman.
Aye.
Aye for Trustee Sugarman. President and Trustee Vasquez.
Aye.
And Trustee Thakur.
Aye.
Okay, approved 5-0. And this is just appoint the superintendent as secretary. We'll just make it official again. That doesn't change. If I can take a motion for appointing Dr. Pleka as the secretary.
I move to appoint Dr. Pleka as the secretary.
Second.
Okay, roll call. Trustee Berryman.
Aye.
Trustee Meyer. Trustee Meyer. We'll come back.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, Trustee Meyer, aye. Thank you very much. Trustee Sugarman.
Aye.
Trustee Thakur.
Aye.
And President and Trustee Vasquez.
Aye.
Okay.
He does such a great job.
That is approved 5-0. Thank you very much. For the next part of our reorganization of the board is our different organizations and that the board helps and participates. I did some research, and so at this point, all the offices are held by board members that will still be with us at a future board meeting. Just for your knowledge, the representative for OCSBA for 2020 is the person is Hilda Sugarman, and the alternate is Aruni Thakur. And so we should be fine unless the board decides to change that. And at this moment, if that is the case, then we would take a motion in a second. But if I believe I see everybody nodding their head that we can keep them as is. President Vasquez, is that okay with you?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so the offices are continued to be held by Hilda Sugarman and Aruni Thakur. The next organization is representative for County Committee on School District Organization. And we have the same scenario where two current board members that will be with us hold the offices. The main representative is Trustee Meyer, and the alternate is Beth Berryman. So at this moment, we would either leave it the same or we would change it. And I see thumbs up to leaving the same. President Vasquez, is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so those two representations and organizations will stay the same. Still noted in our board minutes, so it's public knowledge exactly on what vote and who holds what office. And that would conclude our reorganization of the board effective our next board meeting.
Great. Thank you so much, Mrs. Serna. We are going to go ahead and continue with our meeting and moving on to our COVID-19 update.
Before we go on, thank everybody. Thank everybody. And wonderful Carmen.
We just, first of all, I want to thank all our staff for all of the work they put in, our teachers, the long hours to prepare for today. I want to thank our classified staff who worked to provide the safety precautions we've put into place, our administrators and our principals for all your leadership and moving forward. So I just want to thank everybody for the good work they've done. I know this weekend, I know our classified staff worked long hours to make sure, again, things were in place, setting up and preparing for the thermal cameras, setting up and preparing for the decals to show where social distancing is taking place, the hand sanitizers, and a plethora of other things. So just want to thank everybody for doing that. Yeah, a nice shout out to all our classified staff again, as well as everybody else and our teachers that done all this good stuff. So thank you. As far as some updates, we don't want to just begin. It's not just about distance learning, but it's also about preparing again our offices and all of those so that when people do come in, they can enter safely, and we appreciate people wearing their masks and again, the hand sanitizers and all those sorts of things. We started our distance learning program today and had a chance to go out and visit some schools as well as Chad Hammett and Julian Lee. And it was great to see schools today when I visited Richmond, our third grade class, to see the teachers there with a whole class of students interacting and working. And I'm happy to say there were at third grade in this particular case, 100% of the third graders participating in distance learning. And I know, again, all the work to try to make that happen. And so we will be, again, moving into this next phase of distance learning at a much higher and more rigorous level. Just some updates for parents. While we have shared the different program options, this Friday we will allow parents to begin to choose what option they want when school is able to safely resume. And as part of that, we have a video that we want to show everybody that you will be able to access that will show you what it might look like when we return, showing what it would look like in the classroom, a much smaller class size, what it would look like in terms of hand sanitizers and thermometer checks and all of those things. We have had parents reach out to me and say, what would it look like? What could we expect? And so just a big shout out to the IIS team and all of their work to put together a video to be able to show. It's just about a 3-minute piece. So that will be available. And next week, we'll be releasing a video on hand washing and on proper wearing of the mask. So these videos will start coming out just to give, again, people an idea of what it might look like when we are able to safely return. So those are just some of the things you can expect on Friday to see a message out, and please look at that message, and we will include again the video so that you can see again what it would look like. So those are some of the things that are happening. We're really, again, thankful to our entire staff, but I also want to acknowledge to our parents that it is challenging and it is difficult. And I've talked to many parents who talked about, hey, getting in initially, and it is hard for a first grader to try to log in and their password and all of those things. And while that maybe doesn't sound cumbersome, for all of us who have worked with 5- and 6-year-olds, we know that is challenging. And even for those of us who have had to do passwords and logins, it does pose a challenge. And so we appreciate everybody's persistence through that. And also to thank IIS and their staff to respond to those, and we will continue. I know Jeremy Davis and his entire staff tomorrow will be outreaching and to get make sure that everybody is on. So also want to give a shout out to Jeremy and his entire IIS staff. So those are just a few of the updates and some things you can expect to see really within the next week.
Thank you, Dr. Pletka. Any questions for Dr. Pletka on the update?
Will the those videos be available on our YouTube channel and we could see them as well?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, we'll give you a little preview on the one video here. We'll send out when we send out this week. We'll send it out to the board. Make sure. I think you'll enjoy it, seeing what it could look like.
Right. I did notice today that lots of schools had lots of cars in the parking lot. So it looks like many of our teachers are actually going or presenting their classes from their own classroom, which probably is very comforting for them to at least be in their own space and their own environment. So, yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you again for all of your hard work and all the district's hard work and everybody that worked on getting us up and going. Not a small feat, and not the end of it. So take your vitamins, everybody. All of our staff, make sure you're taking plenty of rest, take your vitamins, get your exercise, drink your water.
Thank you. Any other questions for Dr. Pletka?
Thank you.
Trustee Vasquez, President Vasquez, if we're through with the COVID presentation, I'd like to move for a 5-minute break, please, or 4 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aruni. Thank you.
And there's a motion.
I second that.
5-minute break. Great. Second. Let's go ahead and get a roll call vote.
Aye.
Okay, I'll call it. Let's go ahead and start with Trustee Meyer.
Aye. Aye.
Trustee Thakur.
Aye.
Trustee Berryman.
Aye.
Trustee Sugarman. Trustee Sugarman.
You're muted.
She's saying aye.
And Trustee Vasquez, aye. So that's 5-0, 5-minute break. We will be back at 7:46 p.m.
My phone, I think I texted Jeanette after she did her thing. I have my agenda right here. Does it look like I'm looking at my phone? Because if it does, I won't look at my agenda. I'll pull my papers up so you can see me. Huh?
I'm looking, look, I have my papers. Well, honey, I have my, how am I gonna look at my papers?
I guess I'm not reading it right.
I don't want it to look like I'm texting. No.
Carmen, I would give you a little kiss if I was there with you. Little chocolate kiss.
All right, it is 7:46 p.m. We took a 5-minute break. And we have one more board member. We're almost there. All right, all ready to go. Let's go ahead and move on to our next item, which is approval of the consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
Yes, for the consent agenda, as we pick up a motion in a second, we have a revised donation report that at this moment I will be sharing on the screen. And as you can tell, We had a couple of additional donation items that we added to the donation report after it was posted, and then we removed some. I don't want people to worry on why some staff were removed from the donation report. This staff indeed did donate this donation, but it was directly given to the Girls Club, and the Girls Club then made the donation on behalf of everyone to the district office. So we can't double dip. We can't give credit or accept donations for the same item. So at this moment, we are crossing off 1, 2, 3 staff members. That money, we are very thankful to them. They did give that money, but it was given to the Girl Scouts, and the Girl Scouts is listed on the donation report. And in addition, we have our appreciation for the continued support from the Fullerton Education Foundation. And as you can tell, the additions were $1,000 in gift cards for Walmart, and those were given to families of need during this pandemic. And in addition, there was also $500 worth of Target gift cards that were given to students during our extended play summer edition summer school. So at this moment, those are the changes to the donation report.
I move
Carmen,
to, oh, go ahead.
Question, Trustee Sugarman.
Carmen, this report reflects incredibly amazing, generous community donations at a time of great need. It really does take the entire community to support one another during these crazy, terrible times. And I wondered, since you have control of the shared screen, would you mind reading off just the names of the donors so that we can kindly and respectfully let them be known out loud to everyone who might be listening to this recording or this board meeting? Because how do you thank people enough for caring for other people that they don't even know?
Absolutely. And we are very thankful for all the continued donations we have received, especially during COVID-19. As you can tell, staff, community, organizations in our community have really stepped up as everybody else to really help our families in need. So at this moment, I'll just start at the beginning to list the donors, as you can tell on the screen. Second Harvest to Pacific Drive School with perishable food, Giving Hope also to Pacific Drive, both giving 2,000 pounds of food. We have the Fullerton Public Library, who has distributed books to our Title I schools. We also have anonymous donors at times that would like to remain anonymous, but that have also been giving us either food, snacks, supplies as needed. Needlework Guild, Golden Hills staff. Thank you very much for the donations that you gave during COVID. Community partner, Jason Harold, who gave to the district office. When they make the donation to the district office, we don't keep the supplies. We distribute them as necessary to our families and our schools. I see Dr. Pleka on there donating 2 scooters for students. The Loomis family and the Fullerton Free Church, even providing donuts. Our staff member, Becky Arbizo, with toiletries. We have Golden Hill, Pacific Drive, Orange Thorpe, Rolling Hills, and Maple donating. Sarah Kelman and Rolling Hills Girl Scout Troop. Those were the items that included the other staff members that I mentioned before. 2 Saucy Broads has been an amazing community partner through this pandemic. And Sherry Williamson is also the organization that provided items for us that we will be sharing with our families in the next week or so. Pacific Drive and the Golden Hill family, Bev Berryman. ICNA has been an amazing organization that has provided an amazing support through Mrs. Nuncy to numerous of our school sites, the last being last Friday, providing a whole bunch of food for our community. So we do thank them, the ICNA organization.
What does that stand for, ICNA, do you know?
I do. I actually looked it up. I will give you that at the end of the report as I pull up the text from Mrs. Nuzzi that shared with me what that organization stands for. We have Beth Ellison, our staff member, parents, Aaron Black, Sherry Williamson, Sheridan McDaniel, Beth Cross, a community partner. Young Kim gave us 1,000 disposable masks that we are saving in case that we need those when students come back. And knowing children, they may forget that coming, just like they forget sometimes their lunch. So we will have plenty of masks available in case students need those as they return back. The SIKHS organization has donated to Richmond too several times. And of course, the additional items that were listed from the Fullerton Education Foundation that were the gift cards.
Thank you. Thank everybody.
Thank you for reading those, Ms. Serna, and thank you, Trustee Sugarman, for making that request. If I can get a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
I move to adopt the consent agenda with the amendment to the gifts.
Second.
Motion made by Trustee Berryman, seconded by Trustee Takur, and we're going to go ahead and do a roll call vote.
Trustee Berryman?
Oh, yes.
Trustee Meyer?
Aye.
Trustee Sugarman?
Aye.
Trustee Thakur?
Aye.
And President Vasquez?
Aye.
Okay, consent calendar approved 5-0, including revised board item number 1B.
All right, and we are moving on to discussion action items. 2A, approve memorandum of understanding for return to work and instructional programs for the 2020-2021 school year between the Fullerton School District and Fullerton Elementary Teachers Association, FEDA. We have our Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Chad Hammett.
Good evening. Very happy to be able to present to you this memorandum of understanding. It reflects an incredible amount of work on behalf of FEDA and our Fullerton School District negotiations teams. We truly feel this MOU represents a spirit of PAL as we were able to come together and address so many issues with FETA that really help spell out what the return to school looks like, what does distance learning look like, what does hybrid learning look like. And I've had the opportunity to read a lot of different MOUs, and this one is one of the most extensive and most detailed that's out there. It was just great teamwork and great synergy, and we committed multiple days, but one very, very long day to get this put together. So I really thank them for their hard work and working with us to make this happen.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hammett. Can we go ahead and get a motion, and then we'll open it up to discussion after we have that.
Happy to make a motion to accept this.
I second.
Okay, motion made by Trustee Sugarman, seconded by Trustee Berryman. Any additional questions or discussion?
Dr. Hammett, I know how extensively you and FETA worked on this MOU, and so I'm very pleased that that it worked out and that we were able to get our students back in school today and hopefully back in the classroom when it's safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have never seen such detail, and I really appreciate it because parents ask all sorts of questions and it's all spelled out right there. Teachers have questions. It's all spelled out right there, and their leadership participated to really think of so many things that they would be questioning and how to handle it. And your team thought of so many things to address also. It is an incredible memorandum of understanding, and probably other school districts should take it and look at it and say, wow, this is what we want too. So thank you, and thank every member of both teams.
Thank you.
I echo that, and I also appreciate the time that you spent answering my questions on this, adding to the hours of time that you had already spent on trying to get this done. And I'm sure with my questions, others had questions too. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any additional comments or questions? Okay, great. Thank you so much, Dr. Hammett, for all the work, and to our association for all the work that went into developing that MOU. We have a first and a second. Let's go ahead and do a roll call vote. I'll go ahead and conduct the vote. Oh, that's fine, Ms. Serna. Thank you. You could, okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Roll call vote on item 2A. Trustee Berriman.
Aye.
Trustee Meyer.
Aye.
Trustee Sugarman.
Aye.
Aye for Trustee Sugarman. Trustee Thakur.
Aye.
And President Vasquez.
Aye.
Okay, approved 5-0.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on to 2B, determining legal counsel attendance for future board meetings. Dr. Pletka.
So just to give a little history about what we have done, and of course, as a board, if you want to change the practice, then just give us guidance to do so. Currently, if there is a particular issue on the agenda that poses significant legal questions, typically we would bring, I would request legal counsel to be there. Sometimes in addition to that, board members may have some legal questions, and I'll be able to tell an issue or an item may need legal counsel because, again, it might have not just statutes, but maybe there's even case law as a part of and needs to be considered. So we would include legal counsel for those issues, and of course, the president also can also ask for legal counsel to be present at the meeting. So there's a few ways we've done it. We typically will have legal counsel on call like we did this evening, that if there is an issue that we can reach out to them. We have not historically always had legal counsel at every meeting. In many cases and in many meetings, there's not a need, and we have gone in some cases 8 or 9 meetings without legal counsel. So right now, I do kind of an assessment of the issue and that it may need counsel, and I invite them. Of course, sometimes the board has asked for it in the past, and we've brought it. So that's how we've done it. We have not consistently brought legal counsel to every meeting, but we have had legal counsel available in case there was a question. So of course, the board, if you would like to change that practice, this would be a time to do so.
Let's go ahead and open up discussion. Trustee Meyer.
At this point, I'm not in favor of having legal counsel at every meeting all the time. We seem to be able to access them pretty easily. And if we have items on the agenda that are pertinent to some legal advice, then we can put them available to call on them. Because we don't have as many meetings as we probably should have, they tend to be a little long, and we have a lot of ceremony at the beginning of and it's pretty costly, and I don't support paying for legal unless we really need it. So at this time, I'm not in favor of having it at every meeting.
Dr. Pletka, what about legal opinions that maybe we don't require them to be present? What's been the past practice on that point?
Sure. So, I mean, if there is a need for a legal opinion, in the past, maybe it's been an issue that's been on the agenda in the past, or a simple request, kind of like what we do currently at the end of the meeting, to be able to say, this is an issue, can we get a legal opinion on it? So that for sure would be a way for the board to access those legal opinions. And then we would be able to provide that and send that to the whole board. So if there is an interest in that, we could do that. And while we haven't done that recently, it is something that I've done in the past with boards. You're on mute.
I agree with Jani and Aruni. I, at this point, would hate to see us spend money that we don't need to spend. And if they're available to us, if they can give us a legal opinion when we need it, I think that's great. They always seem to be very faithful in getting back to us. And so I personally wouldn't want to spend more money.
Dr. Pletka, can you maybe just advise what we spent on board legal fees as opposed to, general what you or your staff may require in terms of legal counsel to address an issue, but sort of related to the board? Is there a way that you could separate that out, give us an estimate?
Sure, we could send the board an estimate of legal fees as it relates particularly to board questions, or let's say a board meeting, or so we can get that to you, yes.
That won't require more than 2 hours of staff time, will it?
It won't. I mean, I guess if it was to go back 10 years, then maybe, but I think we can get, in the last few months for sure.
Can we maybe just get some clarification, I guess, if nobody was going to say anything else? What about the idea, Dr. Pletka, of accessing legal counsel? Is it similar to the privileges, board president, superintendent, typically?
Typically, I mean, if the board president would like to get a particular opinion, they could make the request, and then what we do then is we would make that opinion known to the whole board so that you have access to that. But yes, the president for sure could be able to say, this is something that, that would be pertinent to an agenda item. And so to be able to fully inform the board about the potential legal issues on an agenda item, that the legal counsel should either be at the meeting or provide a legal opinion. So that could be an avenue as well.
So is that not what we're doing right now? I mean,
well, at this point, legal counsel is not here. And
right.
So on this case, maybe I don't fully understand the question.
I guess my question is right now, if we have an issue, like you said, that we think could be questionable, we would either invite legal counsel to come to the meeting, or we would ask for an opinion. And then you would share that information at a board meeting before we made a decision. I mean, that's kind of how we've done it in the past, correct?
We have, and I think to Trustee Thecker's question, yes, if there was an agenda item, and for sure, if the board president had a question on maybe a legal question as it relates to that agenda item, that would be, I think, very appropriate to get either legal counsel there for that agenda item, or again, a legal opinion prior to the meeting that could be shared.
So tonight's action that we are talking, we're just discussing if we want to have legal counsel at our meetings going forward. Is that what I'm understanding?
I don't know if that's the only question, but that is for sure one of the questions, I believe.
Legal counsel attendance at future board meetings. That was what's on the agenda. So, I mean, for me, I think that what we have been doing seems to work. I think that at 11:30 at night, we have called our legal counsel and they've answered the phone, which is less than paying for per hour sitting at a board meeting while it's going late. So I think that they've been very responsive to us calling every time we need an answer quickly. So I would tend to agree that I'm okay going, staying the same as we've been in the past. And at at a time where we think there's something that's coming up to invite them in. Unless there's something I'm missing.
Maybe this would be another time for me to ask again. The board, so far it seems like we're intending to begin to meet more regularly, correct? When do we at the end of the year, we do the next year's meetings?
Mhm.
Okay. That was just an aside.
Okay, any further discussion? So it looks like we're agreeing that what we currently have, which is having our counsel on call, usually BB&K, Dr. Pletka?
It is, but there are sometimes specialized issues where we would reach out to different counsel, but typically it would be BB&K. But again, it does depend on some issues. In some cases, whether that was special ed or maybe potentially another issue related to developer fees, or so there may be different legal counsel, but typically it is BB&K.
I like the fact that we have somebody that knows our district, so we don't have to start over with a scenario sometimes.
Any further discussion, or are we all okay with continuing what we are doing? Yes? Okay, sounds good. Looks good.
Until it doesn't work, yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to item 2C, determine open session start time for future board meetings.
Trustee Vasquez, I think the last item that we did, 2B and item 2C, were possibly at my request carried over to our next regular meeting so that they could be addressed while you were present. I think that we've agreed 6 to 10 since the items were placed on the agenda. So I get the sense that we're already adopting a new manner of beginning and ending our meetings with regard to time. So I don't know if anybody else had any comments, but I feel that this point might have been addressed. The opportunity was really for you to let us know if there was anything else.
Great, if that works for the four of you, that we can go ahead and you can go ahead and keep that time. Okay. Okay, so 6 to 10 p.m.
Like that time frame because our protocols say 10 to close, but 6 o'clock gives time if we need to have a closed session before. And it's a nice time to start for our staff because they've worked all day. They can have a bite to eat and then have a meeting and know that it's not going to last past 10 unless something unforeseen happens. And that seems respectful for the people that work for us.
And it gives people a time if they want to come to our meetings and they get off of work and they can spend the rest of their evening with us.
How nice is that?
All right, so we will continue the 6 to 10 p.m. As that was already a discussion that the board had at the last meeting. Does that work for everyone still? Okay, great. So we're going to move on to item 2D, direction from the board regarding format of minutes for the June 25th, 2020 adjourned meeting and format of minutes for all future board meetings.
So just to provide some context, Carmen Cerna does the minutes each meeting. And just by the way, a little shout out to her. She works very hard on this. It's something that we're thankful. I know we're all thankful for how hard she works on it. The one meeting was particularly a lengthy meeting, and I believe there was about 8 hours of discussion. So this makes this a unique challenge. And I want to give a little background about typically how we've done minutes, and then just get some direction on how you would like to do and handle this. So typically, Carmen will do a short summary of of the meeting. It's not intended to be a discussion thread by discussion thread by discussion thread. It really is meant to be a summary. And so she puts the summary together. She in the past has also then said what the motion was and then what the final vote was on it. So that's how we've done it. If there was an interest in the board changing that, this would be the time to do this. I will say that I do need your help on this to help Carmen do this in a way that I think accurately portrays what happened, but to do it in a way that meets what the board truly wants. So to give some background, at this point, to try to summarize each thread of the discussion for 8 hours would be a challenge. So one option would be to actually do a transcription of word for word for 8 hours. A second option would be to simply do the motion and the final vote. A third potential option is to do what she has done in the past, which is a very short summary, includes the motion and the final vote. If that format, kind of a short summary, is not sufficient, again, we could do a transcription of it with then the final vote. Or a last option would be for her to do what she's done before, which is the motion, how it's voted with the short summary, and then you could potentially add any comments that you want, and then at the dais itself, you could then approve those comments. So there's about four different options for you, and whatever the board's pleasure. I'm just seeking some clarification to help Carmen provide the sort of minutes that the board would like her to do.
I have a comment.
Yes.
Trustee Meyer.
Just a question of clarification. If there were a member of the public who wanted to know exactly what happened at the board meeting, do they have access to a full transcription of the meeting? Not by the minutes, but by a recording or something?
Sure, by the recording, yes.
So if there was someone who really was interested in word verbatim, they could get access to that.
Correct.
Then I think we should continue with what we have done, because if somebody really wanted to know every word, that's important. That if somebody wants to know that, I think they should have that access. So if they have that, then we've already covered ourselves. I would suggest going away or going with what we've done in the past.
Trustee Berryman.
I had a question regarding the new agenda program that we've just approved. Part of the advantage I was thinking in approving that more deluxe program that we voted on was that it had the ability to help with the minutes as far as motions taken, what was done and accomplished at the meeting. Is that true?
Yeah, there is a robust search feature that would allow someone in the past to search for a particular agenda item, look at what the motion was made, and ultimately look at what the final vote was.
Okay. For me, I have always believed that minutes are not a transcription. I think that minutes are where you report on what was the item, where was the motion, where was the second, and how it was, and what was the decision, and then having any kind of short statements that were made that go with that seem like they should be, like Carmen has been doing in the past. I think that's what minutes are for. I don't think that they should be a summary or a transcription of what was said, because then you become into the, you have to then put every word, because to pick what comments you put in meeting minutes and what comments you don't is something that becomes subjective. And I think you just don't do that. I think you come up with a just minutes, meaning this is what's happened. So I would agree with what Jenny has said, that I would like to just keep it as it is, hoping that by having this new agenda online, that it will help Carmen in putting together some minutes that don't take her a long, long time to put together.
Aren't the minutes from June 5th currently out for transcription? Or I'm sorry, June 25th?
They can be at this point. We've started the process, but at this point we have not. We don't have them, and so that's why we're getting some direction. If you would like that to be part of the minutes, if we were to bring that back to you. So otherwise, if you don't want us, if we get direction to not transcribe the minutes, we would continue our current practice. She would do a short summary. She would talk about the motion that was made, ultimately the vote. If there were other additional comments you would like to add, you would send that to her. She would bring your additional comments to that meeting, and then you would vote on the summary as well as any additional comments.
I had one more thing to add. With now us on our live streaming or whatever it is we're doing here, that becomes a record as well, correct? So
it does.
The past meeting, so even that meeting in particular is available via recording, correct?
And that, I think the audio for the
yeah,
web
not
is,
the video,
yes,
but
the
the audio.
Yes.
So all of the words from all of those hours were in that, right?
Yes.
So it's there, it's somewhere already. Yeah, I think that that's enough. For me, that's enough. If somebody really wants to know, I think that we should make it available for them and make it easy for them to get to. But for, I don't feel like spending more money on something if you can get it that way, where it doesn't cost anything and it's not hard to access. If it's not hard to access, then I don't have a problem with that myself.
So just to get clarification, I mean, you of course can take a vote officially or just give us direction on this was an item. I just wanted to get some clarity from the board and the clarity about what I'm hearing. But again, I know the board hasn't made a final decision, but so far I'm hearing that she would do the short summary, she would do the motion, the vote, and then if there were some particular comments that you wanted to add, then we would put that as a part of it, and then ultimately you would vote on that as part of your minutes.
Okay, it's not a motion, but I would suggest that we direct staff to continue with the way we're doing the minutes, as long as there is access to someone finding the entire transcript on their own. So that would be not a motion, it's my suggestion that the board directs staff in keeping Carmen doing the minutes the way they've been done.
I think that's okay, but with regard to future board meetings, maybe we can come back to that point once we see how the new system affects it.
I think that's a very good suggestion, Aroni. Yeah. I mean, we can always go back to everything, but at this point, I don't think we need to hire somebody to transcribe everything at this point.
Yeah, and see what the agenda online brings.
Just final point though, I thought that I really thought we saw an email maybe from Jeremy that those minutes were out for transcription, but maybe I'm wrong about that.
We sent them out, but at this point we've asked them to pause so that we could get future direction.
Okay.
So Okay, so what do you need from us, Bob? Anything else other than what we just
Either
done?
either some consensus that we continue as is and the process is acceptable, or if it's not and there's not consensus, then then a motion and a vote on it.
So I'm gonna
give direction to staff to keep it the way it is. Who's in favor of that?
I say that yes, but then add in, and then we'll look at it after the agenda online minutes come.
And
So
if we agree, I don't think there needs to be a motion necessarily, like the last items. We think it was just if that.
So you want a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Would agree with?
Seems like there's consensus, Dr. Pletka.
Okay, thank you all. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Okay, and then so we moved our minutes from earlier for the regular meeting of July 28th and our special meeting of August 5th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting, July 28th, and the special meeting, August 5th. I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Let's go ahead and do a roll call vote.
I have a comment to make. I want to comment that I think Carmen does a fabulous job with the minutes. And I really appreciate the work she puts in, because it is not easy to do something like minutes. It's a skill that some people have, and for others, it's very difficult. So thank you, Carmen.
Any additional comments? Thank you, Trustee Sugarman, and I'd like to echo the same for our staff and for Ms. Serna for creating and developing the minutes, and especially in the last meetings. Since COVID, we've had several special meetings and whatnot, and so as we transition as well to a new modality of conducting the public's business, we are very thankful for the staff who has also adapted to this new system. So thank you. Okay, so let's go ahead and so that was already a first and a second, right? Let's go ahead and take a vote. We'll start with Trustee Meyer.
Aye.
Trustee Thakor.
Aye.
Trustee Berryman.
Aye. Trustee
Sugarman.
Aye.
And I abstain. I was absent at those meetings. Vote passes 4-0-1. We already did that last part. So now we're at the board member request for information or possible future agenda items.
I have a request for information. Dr. Pletka, maybe you can help me figure out the best way to get this information. It's about whether the district is taking advantage of McKinney-Vento opportunities, I guess, with funding, kind of what we do now, maybe programs that are in place and what could be done differently in the future?
Sure. We do receive funding for McKinney-Vento students, but sure, we can do a report and send that, and either send it to you, or we can do it as a board presentation, whatever you would prefer.
Which one requires less staff time?
Probably the communique.
But I would suggest, you know what, I might, because I'm really locked into McKinney-Vento. I mean, I do stuff for them every week. I would suggest having Helene come and just give, I know she's really busy, but a little report from Helene on McKinney-Vento would tell Aruni the amazing things that we're doing. I don't think that'd be a lot of work. She could probably get up tonight and do it. You know what? She does such great presentations, and what we do out there is amazing. So
well, Trustee Meyer, would you second then if I did a motion, or if I made a motion to agendize a brief McKinney-Vento presentation at the next full board meeting?
Yeah, I definitely would, because I think it's a great organization and what we're doing, and people out there really need to know what's happening. And in COVID, you know what, I work with McKinney-Vento in the city, and and what we're doing during the COVID is amazing for some of these kids. I mean, it's going way beyond. So, and Helene would do a great job.
Great, thank you. Well, then do we need to vote on it?
No, you're within your protocol first and a second.
Great. And then just to be sure, the next meeting would be when? Because I know we've been sort of transitioning between specials and regular meetings and.
Hold on, we'll check.
September 8th.
September 8th.
And that isn't a particularly full agenda already, is it?
And we already have we have two meetings that month. We have one on the 8th and one on the 22nd in August or September.
September.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
And I guess my question, I would like to make sure that we don't forget to schedule our superintendent's evaluation. So if we could send out maybe some dates on that, that would be helpful so we can get it on the calendar at least. I know it won't be for a few months down, but get it on the calendar.
And just to be clear, I think Dr. Hammett was recommending like November even was okay, right?
Yeah.
We can send out some dates for that, whatever it is, October, November.
November is, we start to schedule. I know it's only August. Thank you.
Dr. Putka, if you could speak a little bit to the public request by the public to agendize a Fullerton School District Human Relations Task Force, or give us an update on that request from the public.
Sure. The person that made the request, we contacted them, and they were interested in serving on the committee that we had set up. And so instead of agendizing the item, they wanted to participate in our listening and responding tour and being part of that. So they withdrew their request to have it on the agenda, and because ultimately we'll be coming back to the board with the recommendations from the committee.
Great, thank you for speaking on that.
From the task force, the hearing listening tour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeanette, you're on mute.
Any additional comments or any future?
You're on mute again.
Okay, seeing none, then I will go ahead and just simply say that thank you to my colleagues on the board, to our superintendent, to the team, administration team, district team, our families, our parents, and our students, our teachers, our staff, and the community for entrusting in me and giving me the opportunity to serve them on this board. Education has been and will continue to be a gateway of opportunity for our students and families. And I am hopeful and confident that we will continue doing the diligent and important work that it takes for all students to one day have the opportunity to receive an excellent education that affords them those opportunities to thrive in our community. So thank you all. With that, we can go ahead and if I can get a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
And a second, Trustee Meyer seconded. Let's go ahead and do a roll call vote. We'll start with Trustee Meyer.
I will approve to end the meeting and say a goodbye to you and good luck in your future and go forward.
Okay, and let's go ahead. So is that an aye, Trustee Meyer? Yes, okay. Trustee Takor.
Aye.
Trustee Berryman.
Aye.
Trustee Sugarman.
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned at 8:32 p.m. Have a great evening.
Bye, everybody.
Aye.
Good night.